Welcome to today's AUgenda, where Brandon, Marcello, and I debate kind of the hot topics around the Plains each morning exclusively at Auburn Undercover. Today, we're starting with, when will Auburn name its starting quarterback? Brandon, what are your thoughts?
I think the over-under should be set at August 14th. It's the Monday after I believe will be the second scrimmage of preseason camp. And usually after that second scrimmage is when they decide to name a starting quarterback. Now, I believe that they'll have a good idea after the first scrimmage, but August 14th, the Monday after a Saturday in which they scrimmage, likely their second scrimmage, I think they'll come out and make the announcement right then. If not then, they might do it that Sunday morning through a press release of some sort. They've done that before, but I believe it'll happen 1 or 2 days after the second scrimmage.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if it's a Twitter announcement, if it's an announcement in person. I'm going to go a little sooner. I think on that Saturday, they'll have it done. I think they'll bring maybe Stidham out to talk to the media, address it, get it right there. I think that kind of gives them, it shows Sean that he's had enough time to kind of make it look like a legitimate competition, because I think that's the goal here, to make Sean feel like he's had a legitimate shot. I mean, you don't want it to kind of seem like where you're just paying lip service to him. You need him in the fold. You need him emotionally invested, because you might need him at some point during the season, especially in the SEC with these big defensive linemen.
So why do you think on a Saturday? Why is Saturday? Do you think right after the scrimmage they'll just bring him out and not even watch the tape and say he's a starter?
We had an idea going in, and today, it just kind of sealed the deal for us. And a slow news day a little bit, maybe that they can capture some clicks or something like that. I'm not sure. It just feels like something that once you kind of you have that momentum off of a scrimmage, maybe that's kind of what they go for.
I mean, we both believe it's going to be Jarrett Stidham. I don't think there's any doubting that, or there's going to be any surprise.
Or Malik comes out, gives him a stunner, and takes over the job. All right. So on that note, we both think Jarrett Stidham over under. Does he throw for 3,000 yards this season?
I'm going to say under. I'm going to say a little bit under, probably about 2,700 yards, somewhere around there. It's between 2,500 and 3,000 yards, I think will be the case, because I just think they're going to run the ball still significantly, and he's going to have some big games. They're going to have to, because there will be defenses that they really have to throw against.
Well, Chip Lindsey will have really had to revamp the offense, I think,
right,
and hit that number. And it's surprising, you look back, Cam Newton didn't even throw for 3,000 yards, and there's a lot of quarterbacks that do. I think around 35, 40 quarterbacks did last year, so it's not unheard of these days because people throw the ball around. But I mean, Cam Petway's still on this team. I'm going to go under as well, even though we have to both agree. I think that's what's going to happen.
I think though he will throw for 20 plus touchdowns.
For them to be successful, they probably are going to need him to do that.
I think he will. It's been tough for them to get near 25, but I think he'll do it.
All right, that wraps up the first of our AUgenda segments. Tune in tomorrow when we'll be back debating the hot topics around Auburn. Thanks for joining us.